Welcome to episode 24 of ECTEL Bytes. The show is a production of the Eastern Caribbean Telecommunications Authority, and I'm your host, Coretta Crooks-Charles, ECTEL's Communications and Media Relations Manager. We use this platform to provide you with information about developments taking place in electronic communications by the Directorate or like-minded organizations. With that in mind, I'm pleased to introduce a guest that is no stranger to ECTEL Bytes. Her name is Miss Rhea Lewis. Ms. Lewis is the Consumer and Public Relations Manager at the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, or NTRC, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The mission of the NTRC St. Vincent and the Grenadines is to facilitate quality, relevant, and affordable telecommunications services throughout the island. And they have been undertaking numerous projects since we had last spoken to them. So here comes Rhea. Welcome, Rhea.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Carita. To all our listeners out there, a pleasant good afternoon. My name is Rhea Lewis, and I am the Consumer and Public Relations Manager of the NTRC in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Rhea, I think this is probably your third or fourth time on, so welcome back. So let's go right into it. We have a lot to talk about. Under the Universal Service Fund, or the USF, the Global Maritime Distress and Safety System, or the GMDSS, it's quite a mouthful, was implemented by the NTRC St. Vincent and the Grenadines to facilitate emergency and non-emergency communications at sea. Rhea, briefly explain what exactly is the GMDSS and how does it work?
Right. So basically, as the name says, the GMDSS stands for Global Maritime Distress and Safety System. It was implemented by the NTRC of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to facilitate emergency and non-emergency communications at sea. So basically, persons who operate boats for whatever reason would have use for this. Fishermen, persons who basically their livelihood is at sea, or even if you have a tourist vessel and you're transiting the waters of St. Vincent and Grenadines, then the GMDSS would also be of benefit to you. This project was first commissioned a few years ago, and we have recently done a number of things to assist persons. So in terms of providing subsidized equipment for fishermen who might not be able to afford it. So the VHF handheld radios, we have those at a subsidized cost of $400, along with the batteries and antennas for sale. And we also conduct various training sessions throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where we collaborate with the local Coast Guard, and we train fisherfolk as well as police officers on how to use the system in an emergency, because we have had cases where we have fishermen going out and they're lost at sea. They might have the VHF radio to communicate but don't know how to use it. So we train them to use it.
Okay. All right. So I believe this program is going to be expanding soon. What does expansion look like for this project? What's next?
Okay, so previously we had started out with one site, which is located in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, well, in St. Vincent mainland, and that was the Mount St. Andrew site. So a few years ago, we expanded the project that would include the addition of a transmission site in Union Island at a place called Jerome. So there are now two different sites where you could use to communicate. That contract was signed on May 17, 2022 between Cable and Wireless and the NTRC, and the installation was completed late November of last year. So we're currently training persons how to use that, and then, we would go from there.
Okay, all right. So let's shift gears a bit. So the NTRC and Cable and Wireless St. Vincent and the Grenadines Limited, or FLO, collaborated earlier this year on the Police and Health Center project. Could you elaborate on the scope of that initiative to install over 200 access points across police stations and health centers on the island?
Okay, so many persons do not know that as part of the USF, the USF service, the Universal Service Fund, we actually provide internet service to all police stations in St. Vincent and Grenadines and all health centers. So recently, we purchased and installed over 200 access points across 43 police stations and 32 health centers in St. Vincent and Grenadines. And these access points were strategically positioned to ensure comprehensive coverage and optimal connectivity. So as part of the project, 5 of those police stations and 5 health centers would receive fiber internet connection, which would offer high speed and dependability to enhance the communication capabilities and support the data intensive operations. And we decided on these 5 health centers and the 5 police stations based on their size and the proportion of the population that they service.
Okay. So how will this improve connectivity for these crucial services, Rhea?
Well, having commenced with a tender in August 2022, the project is slated to extend over a 5-year period. So following its commissioning, all of the facilities are expected to have a minimum download speed of 350 megabytes per second and upload speed of 50 megabytes per second for an initial 2 years. And then from the 3rd to 5th year, the download speeds are set to increase to a minimum of 500 megabytes per second, with upload speeds reaching up to 100 megabytes per second.
Okay.
So we are basically increasing the speed that we would have previously provided to these health centers and police stations.
Okay, I have a question for you. I'm just wondering, the internet access is available to persons who are coming to the health center, so to speak, for care, or is it?
Yes, there is a allowance for persons who would be coming to the health centers to, use their services. But this is particularly speaking to the internet service that is provided to the staff members and the faculty members of those health centers and police stations.
Okay, thanks, Rhea. So let's talk about the My App Summer Program. So the NTRC's first My App Summer Program for 2024, it already started on Monday, July 22nd, and it is expected to end on August 9th. One of the locations for the summer program, I realized on your Facebook page, was Canwan, but due to Hurricane Beryl, you had to relocate it to the St. Vincent Grammar School in Kingstown. Tell us, how are the people of the affected islands coping post-Beryl, and were there any major damage to the telecom sector there?
I think that the people of St. Vincent, especially the Grenadines, are very resilient. We have been receiving a lot of help from different entities, even, non-governmental organizations that are local as well as overseas. The government as well has been assisting. National Emergency Management Organization has been assisting, especially for the cleanup. There was a major undertaking for the cleanup especially. And then what they're gonna focus on after that is to start rebuilding, because there was a lot of damage, especially in Union Island and Canouan. So they first have to clean up, then focus on the rebuilding part. For a period of time, actually, Canouan was without telecom service, so we could not get on to anybody in Canouan for a couple of weeks after the storm hit. But the telecom services has since been restored. So yes, there's a lot of damage to wires. The internet service in some places is not working. So yeah, we did have a lot of damage to the telecom sector, but we have 2 very, very devoted companies, Flow and Digital, and they're working to restore all the communications back to its previous,
Okay, no, that's good to hear, Rhea. Thanks for that update. So give us a bit of background about the summer program. When was it established and what's the primary objective of the My App summer program?
We actually are in the 10th year now. So this program has been going on for 10 years. Although we did not start out with having two programs a year. That was recent. That was a recent undertaking. Probably in the last 4 or 5 years, we started having two summer programs. And mostly because we wanted to include those persons in the Grenadines and give them a chance to experience the summer program as well. So we had originally intended to have one in Canawan, but we had to relocate, because of the storm. So we moved that to the St. Vincent Grammar School. We have 20 students enrolled there, and the summer program that is going to start August the 5th, that one would enroll 30 students, and it's at the Georgetown Secondary School. And we teach the students how to code. You don't need any previous history or knowledge of how to code. So we teach them to code from scratch. And we also have a section or a segment of the summer program where we teach them robotics as well, how to build Lego robots and program those robots to perform very basic tasks. So that's what they do at the summer program for the 3 weeks.
Okay, I'm just wondering though, since as it was supposed to have been held at Canoan, by any chance are some of the participants from Canoan who maybe had to relocate due to burial, are they participating or no?
Unfortunately, no. We had hoped to have some students from Canawan, but unfortunately, no, we don't have any enrolled at this time. We would have given those students first preference if they had signed up, as well as waiver the application fee, the registration fee, sorry.
Okay, so for the second program that starts in August, is the registration deadline closed off already, or can persons still register? Because I made note that you said you're gonna have 30 students in that one, and you currently have 20 now.
We have 20 in Kingston and
Right.
30 would be enrolled in Georgetown. Unfortunately, though, all of the registration and the application period has closed, so you cannot register at this point. We
Okay.
are at capacity right now.
Wow. Okay. So I know it's really early, but if somebody were to be interested in it for next year, when should they start looking out for this information on your social media platforms?
We usually start promoting around Easter, before Easter, thereabout. That's when we start promoting for the summer program. So you can look out around March, April of next year. We would start putting out teaser flyers, letting persons know where the locations would be, because the locations are going to change again for next year. So persons can start looking from next year, March.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Rhea. And hopefully we'll speak to you before that time as well. So let's talk about the iCode 784 competition. What exactly is that?
Okay, so the iCode competition has been around for a little over a decade now. It is a coding competition where we challenge participants to come up with an idea for an app that would help solve a problem within St. Vincent and Grenadines. So this problem could either be in the private sector or the public sector. Over the years, we have had lots of interesting applications come about. We opened the program to persons in secondary school all the way up to the age of 35 years. However, for this year, we would not be having an iCode competition. We have taken the time to try and revamp the competition so we can make it bigger and better for next year. So persons should look out for us next year.
Okay, any time frame for them to start looking out for that for 2025?
It's usually around September to November, but part of the revamping might also involve restructuring of the timeline as well. It's no guarantee. We're not putting out any information in relation to that as yet.
Okay, all
So
right.
you just have to stay tuned, stick to our social media pages, and once that information is being rolled out, you would definitely be the first to know.
All right, awesome. So the NTRC has a subsidized internet program. Share with us who is eligible for that program and what exactly it entails, Rhea.
Okay, so shortly after the pandemic hit in 2020, I don't know if you recall that a lot of students would have gone online for online schooling. And one of the reports that we received was that a lot of the students were not logging into their classes because they did not have internet at home. So the following year, we developed the subsidized internet program. It's basically to target those persons, those students who are in school and they do not have internet at home. So the criteria for it is that you must not have had internet within the last 6 months, and you must also have a student living in the household because we expect the parents to sign up for it and not the student. So the parent of the student can sign up for it once the student is living in your household. That's what makes you eligible for the subsidized internet program. You would basically pay $10 per month for 2 years, and we are paying the rest of the cost for the internet service. So some persons think, it's a slower version of what Flow normally offers, but it's the same internet service. It's just that you're paying $10 per month, and we're paying the rest of the cost for you, and that would carry you for 2 years.
Wow. All right. So do you have any idea how many persons you signed up so far on this program, Rhea?
Currently, our overall target is 680 households. We are looking to sign up 680 households, but for this year, we want to have about 157 households signed up for the entire year. As of July 15th, we have about 38 applications. So we still have a lot of space for persons. It's just a matter of getting the word out and getting persons to come forward to sign up for the internet.
Okay,
Right?
I'm hoping that this show will help to increase the numbers, Rhea, because it's a really admirable program, especially for persons who are in need of internet. All right, so if all those programs are not enough, the NTRC St. Vincent and the Grenadines also provides funding for short-term courses. Who are the intended beneficiaries for this initiative, Rhea?
We do not have a specific type of person that we are looking for. We just at least ask that you would have graduated secondary school at the very least. It's for persons who are looking to learn extra skill. So if you just graduated from school, you're not in a job, or you have a job and you want to learn an extra skill, then this is something that could benefit you. So those are the type of persons that we're looking for to sign up for these funding for the short-term courses.
And what kind of courses are we looking at?
All right, so we are only funding Coursera courses in ICT, Information and Communications Technology. So that could include software development, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality, data analysis, or machine learning. And they have to be under 6 months. So you can't do like a full bachelor's degree on this funding. It has to be 6 months or less for the entire course.
Okay, that still sounds good. So where can persons get more information about these courses and how to sign up?
You can call 457-2279, or you can visit our website www.ntrc.vc for more information.
All right. So as we get ready to wrap up, Rhea, we spoke a bit about Beryl, but how can persons come to the aid of those affected by Hurricane Beryl in St. Vincent and the Grenadines?
There are a number of nonprofit organizations that are working with the disaster victims. But if you want to go through the government has a bank account that you can donate to directly. You can also go through NEMO, or you can go through any non-governmental organization. There are a number of GoFundMe links available as well for persons who are willing to donate. You could even reach out to the NTRC. The NTRC could coordinate efforts through to getting, the relief items or relief funds to the persons affected. So there are a number of ways that you can do that. If you would like to, you could always reach out to myself or anybody at the NTRC, and we could guide you from there.
Okay, thank you so much, Rhea. Any closing words?
I think we covered a lot right now. I think that's about it.
All right. Thank you so very much for always saying yes when you're invited to ECTEL Bytes. It's much appreciated, Rhea. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
So in case you joined us late, our special guest was Ms. Rhea Lewis. She's the Consumer and Public Relations Manager at the NTRC in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Rhea shared quite a lot of information that's beneficial to a large cross-section of people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So please hit the like button and share as well so that we can spread the message. She spoke about projects to help fisher folk, those that are operating in the police station to improve connectivity, the health centers, there are programs for students, those who want to do Coursera courses. There's so many projects that Rhea spoke about that could help. Those who don't have internet at home could pay as low as $10 and they subsidize the rest. So do take a listen again and share with somebody who you know that this would be helpful to. So if you have any questions, please share them in the comment section and we'll be sure to reply. So apart from being on our Facebook page, this recording of ECTEL Bytes will also be on our YouTube channel, which is at ECTEL, on Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter, at ECTEL Authority, and of course on our website, which is www.ectel.int. So be sure to share with your contacts who are not on Facebook. Before we wrap up though, I'd like to thank all 17 students from 4 of our contracting states for entering ECTEL's She's My ICT Champion Reel contest. Please go on any of our social media platforms and check out the creative reels that they produce to showcase some amazing women from across our contracting states who are paving the way in ICT. The winners have been announced, so congratulations also to them. You've made your schools and your countries very proud. So that's it for episode 24 of ECTEL Bytes. Thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you again virtually in August for another episode. I'm your host, Coretta Cook-Strauss, ECTEL's Communications and Media Relations Manager. Thanks for watching, and until next time, do take care and keep safe.